You are one idea away.
The Yebo Podcast.
The Yebo Podcast.
The Yebo Podcast.
The Yebo Podcast.
Peace and love, kings and queens. Welcome back to another episode of the Yebo Podcast, the podcast for uplifting our voices. I'm your host, Josh.
I'm Jonathan Simmons.
It's episode one, season
Episode
2,
one.
episode 1. And today we have a very special guest, Paris CLAIBORNE of Propel Fitness.
Hello.
Clap it up, clap it up, clap it up. You want to start off with the, you know what I'm saying, little thing you had?
Okay, so I am excited about this one just because back in, what was that, like third grade? Or something like that. We went to the same school. But she was in this song I would hear every Christmas. It was a Christmas carol.
Oh my goodness,
I'm like, who is singing? Who is she, right? It was like, oh, this is Paris. I'm like, okay, Paris is famous. We have a famous person in our school, and it's Paris.
You guys are funny.
So I'm excited about this one, just because of that.
That's it? It's like that?
That's it.
Okay.
That's a big one.
So let's start off, obviously, like,
Right.
I mean, it's been like a year since the pandemic really kicked off, but how have you been doing since like, in the year since? How have you been dealing with the pandemic, navigating it?
Honestly, so far so good. I know the pandemic is a big deal and everything, but it was really a positive time in my life. It was really like a slow down, stop, and like refocus moment or season that I appreciate, honestly. I know it wasn't good for the world, the economy, you know, people have died from it, everything. So it hasn't been a positive experience for everybody, but for me at least, it was like a really good reset, refocus, where I was able to figure some things out, like slow down and like I keep saying, focus on what I started to do. Yeah, so.
I feel like that was the same for a lot of people, especially us. Like, we really started this, like, the podcast and the channel, like, during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Like, you started at Columbia during the pandemic.
I did,
I
which
started
is
mine.
weird.
Like, being online and not being in
Online, yeah,
Yeah.
that was like my dream school, so it was like going to that, and then it being online, I was like, but like it worked out.
Yeah.
It worked out, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So let's get into you a little bit more. So, your passion.
Yeah.
Instead of me like saying like, can you like just explain to us what your passion is and what you, at least, you know, like what you're motivated by in terms of like your career.
Yeah.
What you're doing right now.
So, long story, not short. Growing up, an athlete, like all I did was I sang a little bit, but like gymnastics was my thing. Like that was my identity. Paris, gymnast, tumbler, flipper, all that stuff. So, school was whatever. Thinking about like college and like what I wanted to do in the future, never had like, you know, like a set focus of like I wanna be a lawyer. I wanna, you know, be an artist. It was always just like athletics. That was like that's what drove me, you know, it kept me disciplined, focused throughout school, everything. So, go to school, undergrad, kinesiology, exercise science. When I graduated, still had no idea what I wanted to do. But while I was in school in exercise science studying that, my first job ever was a tumbling coach, like a gymnastics coach. So like coaching like little kids to do what I've done my entire life. Easiest thing ever. So fast forward to now, just really fast, I'm understanding that that's kind of like one of my passions, working with little kids, coaching, because I feel like that had shaped my life. Like I said, it was like my identity, that it was like only time right now for me like give back, you know, help, not mold kids, but like mold kids, like help them understand discipline, focus, like stay in shape through athletics, you know, through exercise and all that. So, rewind, I guess. Once I graduated undergrad, I decided I did not know what I really wanted to do yet, but I was still coaching. So I decided to get my master's in exercise science, sports nutrition. It was a cool program. Like, it was a short program, so I was actually done in 10 months. It was online.
Wow.
The last 2 months, I guess, I had to finish during the pandemic too, because whatever, the world shut down. But my program was online anyways, so it was like not a big adjustment for me, thankfully. But at the end of that program, in order to graduate, you can do like a capstone project. And one of our options was to, I guess, take the test to become a personal trainer. So it was like, write a paper or do this. So I'm like, I can like use this in my future, you know? So decided to do that. But what really drove me to get that certification is the fact that, again, my identity, athletics, exercise, like I grew up just in this lifestyle. I have so many amazing women in my life who are not active, who don't know about nutrition. Like I have my mom, my grandma, my nana. You guys know my nana.
Shout out to everybody listening.
What was it? Miss
Herzog.
Miss Herzog. Oh my
Yes,
God,
you
that's
got it.
crazy.
You got it. Yep.
My Miss Herzog.
Yep. Substitute teacher sometimes,
Yes.
something like that.
Yes.
But yeah, my
She's
mom, Nana, and then my 2 or 3 aunts, I'll say, such influential like women in my life. So when I thought about getting my certification, I was like, oh, I'm gonna do this for them. I'm gonna educate myself enough to where I'm able to like educate other people on how to build better lifestyles, you know, exercise, all that. So if that answers the question.
Oh, yeah.
That was a long answer, like I said. Sorry, but
It definitely does. I feel like, because we asked that question in a similar way to like most of our guests, and a lot of times it is a really hard question to answer just because it's hard to look back and like think about specifically what are the factors that led to you kind of having that motivation and that passion. But it seems like for you it's been like, 1, your experiences growing up in athletics, and then 2, like your family, like you said, the women in your life have motivated you to do what you're doing right now. So that's an answer to me. I don't know about y'all. That's an answer to me.
Yeah.
sorry, it was a long answer. But
We got time.
okay.
You guys want?
I'm excited about the next one about the
What?
friend. Like, who
Oh yeah. So this has become a signature question
Yes.
on the podcast. So like if you were like your own friend for a day, right? Like let's say like you were friends with Paris Claiborne, but you're not Paris Claiborne, but you still are, whatever.
Okay.
And you were your friend, longtime best friend. How would you describe Paris Claiborne to us and to the people watching?
All right. So I feel like if you were to ask my best friend this, she would have a totally different answer. But from what I can gather from the people, you know, I've known for a long time, I would think that they would say that Paris is like, she's an open book. You know, you get what you like give. If you read it just for context, that's what you'll get. But if you know, like, read in between the lines, you'll get to know, you'll get a deeper understanding of her, or like get to know her better, I guess. Yeah, other than like she's crazy, extra dramatic, all that, I think that's how most people would probably describe me. Cause surface level, not. I wouldn't say not too much, but like again, like you just get
what you get.
Exactly.
That's another thing, just to develop the personality. Like, what do you do outside of like fitness? Like something fun outside of fitness. In your free time.
In my free time.
Yeah.
So Paris doesn't have a lot of free time right now. Free time is spent at the gym. That's my self-care.
That's good. I mean.
But another hobby, something like that. I guess, is that kind of what you're asking?
Going to the gym, yeah.
Okay, well, other than that, I guess I'm really trying to learn how to play the ukulele right now.
That's different.
I know, really
like
weird,
small,
right?
The small.
Yeah. One of my favorite songs ever is played on that. So if we're not at work, at the gym, we're like making noise in the house trying to learn how to play that.
Oh, yeah.
What song is it?
Lemonade by Jeremy Passion. Probably never heard about it. Yeah, probably never heard about it ever.
No, okay.
No, yeah.
Listen,
Listen. It's like the cutest little song to me. Like yeah, it's the cutest song to me ever. Yeah.
The only song I know is Somewhere Over the Rainbow. But
That's what I was assuming that was it.
No,
that's the only song I know.
not that one. I got a new one for you.
You got something else?
That's it.
Follow up. Let's get into Propel Fitness. Tell us what it is, and yeah, how your journey with it, how you started it, all that stuff.
Yeah, so Propel Fitness. When I was getting the certification, so the last 2 months of my master's program is when I had to like study for this exam in order to pass it, like to pass the class, all that stuff. So as I'm studying for this exam, I'm thinking, like what are you gonna do with this? Like what's your end goal? Because I'm really good at being very very impulsive. So if I'm like, oh, let me just do this, like I'm just gonna do it and then not think about like the future unless I decide to. So with this, I was like, you gotta think about like what you're actually gonna do with this, because yeah, it's cool to have a certification, but like, okay, and what does that mean?
Right.
So yeah, when I was studying for this, I was like thinking about my the ladies, and I was like, you know what, we're gonna use this to educate. I'm getting a master's degree, so like I'm getting a lot of educate. Like I've been in school for too long. Like it's a lot of knowledge in this head. Like how are you gonna, put it out there for the world to see? Exactly. So I guess as I was studying again, I just decided to actually me and my dad. So my dad is actually a big part of my fitness experience. Like I got all my athletic abilities from him, not gonna lie. And then literally time out. Let me really go back. Sorry. Let me really go back. Let me really go back. So really it was before I even graduated from undergrad. It was like my senior year. Something was like put in my head to like I was given the idea to like do a Mother's Day like fitness something. Or something related to fitness, something related to exercise, Mother's Day. That was like
for the moms?
Yes, for like moms. Yeah. So this is like still a work in progress because I wanted to do it this, past Mother's Day, but life happened still, so we're still working for that. But literally like back undergrad, so like 2 or 3 years ago now, like this idea was already put in my head before I got this certification to become a personal trainer, all that. So I never, how do I say? I know. I'm sorry. I talk too much.
We follow.
Okay. So before I even got the certification, I decided to start my like own fitness journey myself. I called it Misfit, like MISSFIT, and it was supposed to like lead into or be like a fitness thing for like older active women. So my idea behind it, I'm talking a lot, so sorry, but my idea for that was like, women don't like to be called like old ladies and stuff, so my idea was like Miss MISS to make them feel young, misfit. So like again, trying to educate older ladies how active adults, that's what I've been told they like to be called, active adults. How to, exercise, all that stuff. Once I started my own like accountability journey, my idea was to educate older women or active adults. Educate them on their, lifestyle, exercise, health, fitness, all of that. So fast forward to me getting this certification. How do I bring my dad into this? So back then, me and my dad were one of his career paths that he wished he could have gone into was personal training, because he's the reason I go to the gym. Like, he's that active man. So that 2 years ago, we decided, hey, let's start our own, training business. Propel Fitness is actually the name we came up with. So that kind of just translated over to what I decided to do, because of course he encourages me, whatever goals I have, whatever dreams I have, he's there with me. So it's not like I stole this name or anything, but like, this is what I'm deciding to use. I got the certification. I decided to change my Instagram handle at the time was Journey to Misfit. It was that. So I was like, no, like, I had all the time on my hands. Like, I knew what I was doing. Like, the class I was taking, or the certification program I was going through, like, it was showing me how to program design for different types of individuals, different goals, all that stuff. So I was like, let me go ahead and just, do this. Like, since I'm taking the class right now, let's just, like, while it's fresh in my head, let's make some programs. Let's be active on this right now. Since we're doing it, let's just do it. So I decided to come out with Propel Fitness right when I got my certification in May. My whole goal with Propel Fitness is really to so Propel Fitness is like the main title, but my subtitle is Educate, Elevate. So my goal, again, is, since I have so much knowledge about this whole field, is to educate individuals on how to elevate in their lifestyle, their like whole health, wellness, like mental, because all that stuff goes together. So my goal is just to educate on how to become more active, steps to take nutrition wise, just like overall health wise. So right now, that is my overall goal. I had a whole website, all this stuff, but it's a little tricky to stay consistent when it's a lot going on, and it's just been a lot going on. So in the future, or actually what I'm planning to come out with soon, is some tools to really, get that point across. But for right now, it's just accountability for me. Like, my social media page right now is like accountability, and then actions translating over to educating others. So like, what I post, videos, private pictures, all that stuff, is just to like show other people that they can do it too. And then like, through my actions, it's hard for me to talk a lot of times because I'm more of like an actions person. So just for my actions to like hopefully translate over to getting people to become either interested in this field, or just like also ask to participate.
Like with the social media, the content posts and stuff like that.
Yes.
I feel like the social media and content thing, that's something like 10, 15 years ago, somebody in that field like didn't really have to think about for real. But now it's like, I feel like a lot of people like go to school, right? You get the education part, whether it's like being like a doctor, a lawyer, like a psychologist, whatever it is. I feel like a lot of people nowadays, like, you almost have to, like, you gotta translate that into like content nowadays. Like, I know people, like, I know lawyers who I follow on like Instagram, stuff like that, like, and you make decent money like outside of social media, but like a lot of their money is made like creating content and like putting together like posts about legal advice and stuff like that. So I feel like that's a big change, like 15 years ago as opposed to like now. Like, you gotta have a personal brand with your education
and it's
too.
Not easy.
It's not.
It's like being a mini celebrity.
Woo,
It really is.
until like you get to that status. But like, in the meantime, it's like, is anyone really looking? Is anyone really caring? Like,
Yeah.
You put a lot of effort into like the content, and then
it's like, it doesn't go over how you think it will, and you're like,
like your friends and family follow you.
Right,
it's like,
right. How do I get it out there to like the whole world, right?
Yeah.
At some point, it's gonna click though. Because I feel like I watch your content a lot. I'm always like, okay, what am I gonna ask her? Because I need help a little bit, so I'm like, what am I gonna ask her for help?
See, and
So,
I
think some people might be my bad. Some people might be a little like, I guess, nervous too sometimes when it comes to that stuff. So
yeah.
I feel like once they see people doing it, they'll be like, okay, my turn. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? So.
and that's like literally my whole goal. Like, at least with my like social media right now, until I get like to be able to just focus on like a target audience. I hope that I'm seeming approachable. You know,
100%.
Because I'm only doing it and I post about it just to show people that they can do it and they can, you know, because literally anybody can do anything,
Really
right?
This is facts.
So, but yeah.
But you have the credentials. So
Yes, it definitely does.
Yeah.
It's just trying to figure out how to use them correctly so that.
What's that sweet spot?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like this is like, before I get to the next question, I feel like this is one of the ways is like collaborating and connecting with other people who are making content, especially like if you see similar values and approaches to life in general with that person. Like if it's like a real connection, I think it's gonna be real. I don't know. I would expect to see real growth from both sides. So hopefully, like this connection, we just keep doing content. Hopefully one day we can go to the gym and like train with her.
See, that would be awesome.
That
would be awesome.
But, oh yeah.
You know Ben? Have you seen Ben? He's in our group.
Yes,
Yeah,
Ben.
Ben Johnson.
Fitness person.
Yeah, I see
the game.
I see it. Yeah.
They've been trying to get me in the gym for so long.
No, not yet.
I'm a face type of guy.
Okay. Hey, that's nothing wrong
And
with
then I'm
that.
gonna go to the body.
Okay.
That was funny.
Oh man. Let's.
I just play cut that up.
I'm
gonna cut that out.
I'm
Zooming in, and I'm gonna put that in the frame.
You gotta edit that out. Like.
I like that.
Alright, so let's like just talk more about like, I guess this could go more into like your education or your knowledge, but what is like sort of the importance and connection between like, you're into nutrition a little bit, right too?
Yeah.
So what's the connection between nutrition and really like working out or whatever, and like, I guess mental health and wellness, and what are the benefits of like nutrition or eating well and working out consistently on your mind?
Yeah, so everyone wants to live as long as possible, right? So it's important that everyone really tries to understand, or like right when they come to the realization that everything is connected, that they like put forth the effort to like make sure that they're taking the right steps, starting the right habits in order to, you know, live out that life that they want to, right? So, like you said, health meaning like fitness, nutrition, all that stuff, connected, because if you're not, you know, mentally there, you can't be physically there. For a lot of people, going to the gym, like the gym has definitely become like not my safe place, but like my comfort place, my place to like block out the world, my place to like
safe haven.
Safe haven. Get in tune with myself, and like through going to the gym and then eating healthy, because you know you can work out all you want, and a lot of people don't know this, but you can work out all you want, but if you don't eat, I'm not the healthiest eater at all, but I am aware of, you know, like things I can get away with eating, and then the things I shouldn't eat. And like once you get the fitness part down and connect the health, like the eating part down, then like your whole body just like, you know, elevates, like your mind, like you start thinking not more clear, but like your mental state just, you know, elevates. It just elevates, or it has for me at least. That has been my experience, and I know that for a lot of people, like connecting all those dots together, like help them in life. Like they're like, you can wake up ready for the day, or like you can wake up, you know, or go throughout the day feeling like a little better, a little lighter, like a little like healthier, you know, all that. Just by like getting all those ducks in a row, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like I like what you said about like obviously with you having all the credentials you have, education you have, and you're talking about like you're not the cleanest eater or anything like that. I feel like there's a lot of pressure to like diet. Like everybody's going like vegetarian and vegan. Which I personally like. I am like on a plant-based diet right now.
That's awesome.
But
that's awesome.
I feel like that pressure. People put a lot of pressure on themselves to like do those type of things. And one, they're not super ready, and two, like it's really not for everybody.
Yeah.
But like you can also like eat what you want and also be healthy in the same time.
Exactly.
Exactly. That's scary. That was
I'm just playing. No, I was just gonna ask, what time of day do you work out usually? Is it like in the nighttime?
Yeah, I'm not a morning person at all. You could not pay me. You could not pay me to get up.
to get up early?
No way. So I'm like an after work evening type of. That's when I'm like feel ready to like go get it in basically.
Okay.
I'm
the same way.
Yeah.
I cannot do anything before like noon.
Oh my goodness. Like getting up for work, I'm like, are you kidding me?
Oh yeah.
Go work out? No way.
Anything else? No. All right. Now I have to caveat with this one. I have not read your book.
Okay.
But I did do some like research on it on Amazon, and it's like I have a quote on here. But sort of talk about like your inspiration behind writing your book, Stuck on Purpose.
Mm-hmm. So, my inspiration. Sorry.
I
heard the question.
That was my fault. That was an awkward way to ask that. What was your inspiration behind writing Stuck on Purpose?
All right. So forever, I've been fixated on the idea of purpose and understanding like my purpose. Literally forever, I've been the person where, like I said, like with school and everything, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So it was not knowing exactly what I wanted to get into made me think that I didn't know like what I was here for. Like it was always so hard. Like I used to read like inspirational books about this idea and this topic, trying to like figure out like what am I doing here? Like what? Like I'm good at stuff. I'm good at all these things, but like what's gonna be fulfilling to me? Like what am I here for? Mm-hmm. So so forever fixated on this idea, and I knew it was like sophomore year of high school after I got done reading one of my like inspirational books. I used to read. I don't do that anymore. But I know that's to say. But
it's like a lot of people like that.
Yeah, but it was like sophomore year of high school. I was like, I already feel like I'm like called to like write something. Like once I figure it out, like I have to put this on some paper to like encourage the next person that's going through this exact same thing. Mm-hmm. So throughout college, I was getting my degree in exercise science. I was not on a clear path, but on a path. But it was still like, okay, and once you graduate, what's next?
Right.
So that's kind of why I went ahead and went back to school right away, because I was like, I still don't really know, but like more school, more education, like that's gonna make you look good, right? Mm-hmm. So it was graduated in 2019, so it was September 2019, like I guess it was like my quiet time with God, I think. Mm-hmm. He dropped this idea on me. He said, he didn't say stuck on purpose, but he said purpose. And I'm like duh, like this is what I perceive about all the time. So like I was thinking it was just me thinking like, okay, we're gonna figure out what our purpose is, but no, like he basically told me book purpose, and I was like, okay, whatever. I can show you my phone and show you like the notes in my phone. Those are like the first 2 words. Ever since then, like every other week, every other day, I was just given little like nuggets on like navigating the season that I myself was going in. And every time I like went through something or like came to a realization or got some revelation about something, I would write it down. So I told my mom about this, and my mom is one of those people where if you tell her like a good idea, she's a very spiritual person as well. Spiritual, not religious. You know, it's a difference, because religious is all about you got to live a certain way, act think this. No, spiritual. Everyone has their own relationship with God, and that's like that's important for me to like just say because this book is I reference a lot of scriptures, of course, but it's really just about my spiritual journey. So anyways, my mom, a spiritual person as well, and she talks to God, hears from God, all of that stuff. So she, of course, had this or some idea that, or God gave her, like the same like idea, basically. So when I told her, of course, she's like, okay, every other day. Okay, so like did you write something? Like keeping me accountable, basically, which is awesome. But then, of course, I was like, lady, okay, like I know, just give me a second. So again, through my whole entire process, writing things down, and then it was really during quarantine. Like I've had all my ideas basically down for a while, but it was during quarantine when we got that pause where I was able to like translate it all onto paper and organize it and actually write my book. So literally within 2 months, it was March, because that's when I remember lockdown, because when we got that call, like, okay, everything's going to be shut down. It was my birthday, March 13th. It was that Friday. So I didn't have to go to work that day. So I remember that. Yeah, still went out to eat, but
We're March 23rd, by the way.
Really? Oh, okay, cool.
I don't know if y'all do zodiacs.
Right. But I'm a Pisces.
Yeah, I'm an Aries.
Yeah, you guys are Aries.
How does this thing work?
Yeah. Look, I think 3 days early, or 3 days earlier we would have been. It's okay though. We're still cool. Yeah, so March, then I was done writing in May. Like my whole entire book. I had like my unedited and all that stuff. I was done editing it and all, and I think it was September when I decided to just drop it out into the world and see like see what happens. Yeah, because if anything, like honestly, this book was for my younger self. Like in the beginning of it, like that's my dedication to my people, but then like to younger me. Because what I go through is just like my process. Do I give a clear answer on purpose? You're gonna have to see. But it's literally, if I could have talked to my younger self, this is what I would have told them. And then it was just like an encouraging book. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
I feel like I got a couple things. One, I do plan on buying the book after this.
Okay, cool. It's an easy read too, fast read, like...
How many pages? You said it.
Look, I forgot, actually.
80 something? Less than 100?
I think so, actually.
I bet.
I think.
But yeah, it's like it's a really easy read, and like how I write is like I like put the points. Like we get some context, but you get the points. Yeah. So and that was like my whole purpose of like getting those points to people. Yeah. To stay focused, stay encouraged, because we're here for a reason.
Right. I'm gonna definitely read it. And we can leave a link in the description below to the. Cool. It's on Amazon, right?
Go get Stuck on Purpose right now.
Yes.
It is on Amazon.
Yep.
Go get it.
Go ahead. And then 2, I feel like just the fact that like you like, so I feel like a lot of people, you call it like in your situation it was like a message from God. For other people it might be intuition, whatever you want to call it, but like a lot of people get ideas like dropped in their head and like never act on it. And like, but like you had the idea initially in 2019, you said, something like that, and like a year later or whatever, you had it out. A lot of people like procrastinate on stuff, and like you look up and it's 30 years later and you've been sitting on an idea. So I think just the fact you were willing to like work to act on it so fast.
Well, like I literally had to, like in my quiet time with God, it was like every time he would bring it up, and then I knew that if I did it, like this was like one of my obedience tasks. So like if I didn't do this, then my next season wouldn't be what it was, or like I wouldn't have been able to like understand my next season. Like everything after it was doing that book and then going from there. If I would have like skipped over it, I don't know what would have happened. So like it's like I had to. Yeah.
So I got this quote from the site, which I'm sure it will stick out once everybody reads it, who watches this video. But it says, like trees, we are intentional creatures. Could you?
Yeah.
I can infer what that means.
Yes.
But could you just kind of explain what you were thinking in writing that? I think that's a very, very powerful line.
Of course, yeah. So everyone, we know, well, I hope we all know that we were put here for a reason, for a purpose. A creature is anything, living, breathing, trees technically, living things, right? So my whole purpose of relating us to trees and saying that we're intentional creatures is trees are planted, to either produce shade, produce fruit, produce food, produce something. I just had to, get the point across that we were also here, put on earth, like God created us, to produce something. So even if it's, times where we don't know what it is, like trees don't, I'm guessing they don't know what they are to produce until it comes time for them to produce what they're, planted for. So connect us to, something that we actually see grow and produce something. We're like them. We do the same thing. Just, in a more, in a bigger, better way.
Right.
So
I read that on the site, and they had me going for like the rest of the night. I was thinking about what that meant.
Yeah.
For me, so I mean, I can't wait to read the rest of the book personally.
Awesome.
Did you have anything? On the book?
I'm gonna read it too, but I just think it's interesting. 5 minutes. That I think it's interesting that every person we have on here has a purpose. I think it's interesting to hear what that journey is. What was the moment that like hit them? You know what I mean? Everyone has their like moment of just like, okay, I gotta do this.
Yeah.
And I just think it's real interesting to see how like different entrepreneurs came to be.
I also feel like the thing about this is kind of a sidebar, but not a sidebar, but like, the thing about purpose a lot of times is like, it seems linear once like people like make it. Once you make it there, if you ask somebody like, how'd you build? Like if you ask Steve Jobs how you built Apple, a lot of times it might seem like super linear, like I did this, and this, but oftentimes like their answer would be like, I was just like doing it. Like I just worked. I just did things that came to my mind. I just worked and like didn't know the next step necessarily, but like then I got here and
they're living through their gifts.
And like success for a lot not just not money based. It's not.
That's a good one though. Wait, that was a good one.
I lost my idea now.
My bad.
Yeah, it's gone now. But no, but yeah. Did you have anything else on the book or any other questions?
No.
Okay, let's transition in more into your identity, and you kind of touched on this earlier, talking about the women in your life. But if you could speak to like your identity as obviously a Black woman, can't look over that at all, and however else you identify and how that's sort of shaped who you are, what you're interested in, how has it shaped Propel Fitness and your approach. You kind of spoke on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Could you speak just more in detail about that?
Like being a Black woman in this
Starting a business.
field. Yeah. Of course, I feel like it's a niche, especially right now for Black women entrepreneurs, Black women creators, because for so long, of course, we've been overlooked as being able to exceed standards and whatnot. So at least for right now, with everything social justice wise that's been going on and everything, I'm just encouraged by the idea of me being able to encourage the next generation. That's like my whole thing right now. I don't know what the word is, but just being able to be an example, because I've had so many great examples. I just feel like it's just my time to be an example. And then being able to be a Black woman, old lady, almost 25, but like, still younger, but like trying to, you know, do some things with my life already, you know, trying to take a jump start on these businesses so that in 5 years I won't just be starting, I'll be like excelling in them, is what's motivating me right now.
Alright, so advice. I need some advice, right?
Uh-huh.
I am slim, not skinny. I don't like that word. I'm a slim guy.
Okay.
And I need some tips on how to eat properly so that I can gain the necessary weight. Because you said that you need to eat a certain way so that you can gain that muscle.
Exactly. Because I'm guessing you're like me. We have high metabolisms.
Yeah.
I can eat as much as I want.
For real.
But it won't stick.
Right.
So really, I was like so happy to finally like educate myself on like the proper ways to, you know, reach my goals, which is a lot of people's goals. But just to get to your case, my favorite thing ever, if I could drink all my calories, I would. So I love protein shakes. Protein shakes, buying the right types of like whey protein. A lot of people don't know. You're probably like, what are you talking about? But like buying the right types of protein that have higher calories, which is like whey proteins. So whey proteins. I'll let you know my favorite one.
Right.
But protein shakes, and then honestly, carbs are our friends. We like to eat, but the way that my weight was able to stick is by eating and working out. Because the weight can, you know, go on as fat, but if you stop eating, you lose it. Weight going on as like muscle, instead, you're able to maintain it a little better. And that's what I do. That's what I will do forever, because if I stop,
The gains are
it's over with. It's over with. I don't want that to happen, right?
Yeah.
But I would recommend protein shakes, pastas, you know, oatmeal. So also, we gotta eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
All three?
All
Hey.
three, yeah. That's
Nice.
the other kicker.
I can't just eat a large lunch.
I mean, you could,
No, I'm
but
just
you know, the
All
more,
three.
yeah,
Okay.
the earlier you start eating in the day, you know, the more hungry you are throughout the day. So you just automatically eat more, and you know, it stays on. But if you add weights to that, you'll get the gains you want and be happy.
Get it. So what? Yeah. What do you? Oh no, I got that. I'm gonna write that down.
Do a 5-month check-in.
right. I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna say.
No, actually, I think I'm going to the gym on Monday.
Okay, awesome.
Going to the gym on Monday.
Okay, first of all, I've been saying that for literally 2 years.
What happened to us working out together?
Oh, see, I get an accountability partner. That's also awesome.
Because I
Let's go.
am recently retired from track and field.
Okay.
So
she knows the
Very
workouts.
recent, like 2
then.
weeks ago.
Hold on.
Like 2 weeks ago,
Right.
retired.
So she knows the workouts.
Right.
Yeah.
You have a trainer right here. Hold on.
I mean, I did take myself from like 105 to 127.
Let's go.
I hope
Yes,
too.
sir.
Look at, okay.
Not the
Yes, sir.
Why was I thinking about that too? Good rip tonight.
I'm not on TikTok, so I don't get it. But
Oh my god, you need.
Well, we gotta show you. So there's
Talking about
gotta
social
show.
media, you need to keep up.
You're right. I'm gonna get it this week. Just to watch. I guess I could ask for some advice then.
Yes.
I personally think I'm in pretty good shape.
What are you looking at?
I'm just saying, like, I wouldn't say I'm like in your
I'm good.
but
Oh my goodness.
Okay. Yeah.
so no, I was just saying. But one thing I've been noticing is I'm remote working, so it means like I'm sitting down like most of the day. I'm not like commuting to work anything yet. And I've been noticing like my back gets tight, super tight when I'm sitting down in a chair for like 6 hours, not being super active. So what, like stretches, what would you recommend for like back tightness, like people?
I'm glad you asked that, because my next project that I'm working on for Propel Fitness is like a stretching and exercise program for like different parts of the body, like lower back, shoulders, you know, neck, all that stuff. For you, at least right now, I think your goal should be to at least try to stand up just a little bit throughout the day. Even though I know it's hard because, you know, you got to stay sitting down to do your work. But try to get up a little more often. And then there are also some stretches you can do.
Kind of hard to show me right now.
Kind of hard to show you right now.
We can make another video.
Hey, well, they're kind of...
Part two.
Okay,
Part
stretching.
Two,
there you go. There you go. But, yeah, there's a ton of stretches that you could do. Easy stretches, like anybody can do them. And I'm going to get those out and get them to you.
Gotcha.
Okay?
And we'll repost it on our page, on YouTube at some point. And we at this point, we got to do a part two with like you, like.
I got you. I got you. Say less.
All three of us can do it, maybe.
Okay, yeah.
Look, I think she's going to be all good. She's going to be like, okay, what's next?
I got chronic
I'm
injuries.
goofy.
Let's check.
A question we always ask our guests is to name their top 5 current music artists right now.
Yep.
So
Top
what
5.
What are your top 5? Your top 5 music artists?
Well, 1 and 2, Jhené Aiko and Party Next Door. Loves of my life.
I knew Party was coming. I'm not gonna lie.
I love them.
Party.
3, 4, and 5. I love Sid. 4 and 5. I'm a big Uzi fan. He's always on when I'm at the gym.
Oh, he's lit.
And also, kind of weird, but who was it? 5. I'm gonna say 21 Savage. Just
21.
I know, really out there, but it's a couple of tracks I'm just living, and I'm addicted to, or you know, fixated on right now. Yep.
Alright, so mental health and fitness, they go together.
Yes.
So what are some self-care practices that you do to take care of yourself mentally, emotionally?
This one, I'm such a boring person. Really, again, the gym is like my lock-in or release activity. When I prefer to train alone, so I really get my me time in and de-stress from the day. That's really another reason why I like going, you know, at the end of the day or like after work, because get that over with and then like I get to, you know, relax and get in tune with me again. Mental health, yeah, I'm an extra person, but I don't really do too much. So really that's simple. That's what gets me. Yeah. And I have control over that, you know, so yeah, that's it.
That's good. As long as this is what you're getting that release from, then you're good. Everyone has that release. For me, it's the computer editing and the graphic design and painting, stuff like that. That's my release.
Yeah.
And Josh was just
What?
no,
You know?
dude, you did.
Like reading and writing. For the most part, really what it is. Words. I like words. And words are underrated. I don't know. Did you have any other questions?
Well, just to touch on that, so my book, Stuck on Purpose, subtitle, I'm girl with subtitles, the subtitle is An Affirmation of God. So words of affirmation, my love language, words are like I said, or like you said, underrated.
They really are.
Definitely. So just touch on the book is like my love words about like God's love, you know, for us and all that. So yeah, but I agree. I totally agree with that statement. Yeah.
All the more reason to buy the book. Link in the description, like the 3rd, 4th plug. But I'm definitely buying the book after this. Well, do you have anything?
I just want to say thank you for coming.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity. This was so cool. I'm glad you hit me up and I could do this.
Yeah, part 2 of us working out with Paris.
It's gotta come.
Sometime this summer.
Got to.
Yep.
Pandemic calms down some more. Fully vaccinated.
Perfect.
I got one more dose.
Okay, which one you guys get?
Pfizer.
Yep.
I'm not vaccinated yet.
No? Do you want to or no?
I'm gonna get it at some point.
Okay.
I wanted to like hold out on it, but
No, definitely. I only got it from my grandparents because they really wanted it. I'm not a shot girl, but did it.
Yeah.
So it's done.
And like a
I
needle
need
thing or
to
like
get
a
some
No, as in like
just like
flu shot. Like I just.
Oh, you don't do,
I
like,
don't do
vaccinations?
shot. Yeah. No, unless like I have to, but.
Yeah.
My mom, my grandma, they're the same way. They don't believe in it.
Yep.
So,
Same. Yep.
Yeah, for real.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why I don't. But this one, my grandparents just really wanted to. So, mom got it, so I got it.
Oh yeah, for real. If your mom gets it, then
For
It's
real.
legit,
Once you
right?
You gotta get that.
Exactly.
Definitely. Well, thank you again for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me.
Make sure you guys like, share, comment, and subscribe to this video. Links to your Instagram and the book, which you're gonna buy, Stuck on Purpose.
go buy it.
Link in the description. Thank you guys for watching. Tune in for more great guests like
Sir.
Paris. And yeah,
They're awesome.
thanks for tuning in.
Peace.
You are one idea away.
The Yebo Podcast.
The Yebo Podcast.
The Yebo Podcast.